Holds her. Good evening, one and all. Respected dignitaries, esteemed Speaker of the Day, Mr. Harish Moidinguti, KMA members, and my dear students. I am Neetu Tresia, and we have Sharad with me. We are students from SCMS School of Technology and Management. We will be the master of ceremony for today's program. Let's start the program by invoking the blessings of the Lord Almighty. I request everyone to rise for the silent prayer.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्.
Thank you everyone. Now let's begin the program. Now I welcome Mr. RGS Galit, Vice President of KMA, for the welcome address and introduction of the speaker.
Esteemed Chief Guest, Mr. Harish Moidinguti, Chief Executive Officer, Air Kerala, our beloved President, Mr. Vibhu Punuran, Managing Committee Member and today's officiating Secretary, Tom Joseph, and our Honorary Secretary sitting here, watching the Managing Committee Member who is standing in for him. Distinguished members of Managing Committee, past Presidents, KMA and student chapter members, and all our esteemed invited guests. Good evening to everyone. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you all to today's Leader Insight session, a platform where we gather to engage, learn, and connect with each other. Welcome to the 38th program of KMA of this KMA year. I would like to extend a warm welcome not only to our dedicated KMA members but also to our distinguished past presidents. I can see K.N. Shastri sitting in the front row, valued managing committee members and enthusiastic student chapter members present here today. Your presence here underscores the strength and the unity of our association, and it's delightful to see so many familiar and new faces in our midst. I would also like to extend a special welcome to our invited guests tonight, particularly the Shahista, wife of our distinguished chief guest, Mr. Harish Moidinguti, and his esteemed colleagues of our chief guest from Air Kerala. Your attendance adds to the honor of this occasion and enriches our gathering. As we all know, today's session is centered around an exciting and pivotal topic: how Air Kerala plans to embody our passion for progress and elevate the Malayali spirit. This vision is particularly relevant as we navigate the ever-evolving landscape of the aviation industry, and we are here to gain insights from a leader who stands at the forefront of the transformation of the aviation industry. It is my great honor to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Harish Moidinguti, the Chief Executive Officer of Air Kerala. With an illustrious career spanning over 35 years in aviation, Mr. Kuti has garnered extensive experience with leading airlines around the globe. Prior to his role at Air Kerala, he served as a Director of Revenue and Network Planning at Salam Air in Oman, and he began his journey in the industry with British Airways in 1993. His remarkable background also includes significant roles at Air Arabia, Wataniya Airways, SpiceJet, and RAK Airways, where he consistently demonstrated a commitment to excellence and innovation. Under Mr. Kutti's visionary leadership, Air Kerala is set to redefine how we connect globally while showcasing the spirit and resilience of the Malayali community. We are truly excited to hear his insights into the current challenges and the opportunities within the aviation sector, and how Air Kerala plans to charter a course for success in this dynamic environment. So without further ado, please join me in extending a heartfelt welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Harish Moideen. We are all eager to hear Mr. Harish Moideen Kuti on how Air Kerala will shape the future of aviation in Kerala for global connectivity. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, a hearty welcome to all of you present here today. On that note, let me invite our President, Mr. Bibu Punuran, to share his thoughts. Over to him, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I welcome Mr. Bibu Punuran, President of KMA, to give the presidential address.
Esteemed Chief Guest of the day, Mr. Harish Moideen Kuti, Vice President Mr. Aljaz Khalid, our Secretary in charge, Mr. Tom Joseph, and our Secretary, Dr. Anil Joseph. He chose to have Tom here because he has to leave for another function. Today being Valentine's Day, he has to celebrate with his Valentine. That's the reason why. Past presidents, my dear managing committee members, esteemed guests, YM members of KMA, dear student members. The topic of airline and airline starting from Kerala, I was just asking Mr. Harish as to whether East West was a Kerala-based airline, and he said no, it was actually that I thought at least that was the first airline from Kerala, but no, this is going to be, they're creating history by bringing in the first airline from Kerala, and they've aptly named it as Air Kerala. We've all known as to how, or seen with our own eyes, experienced within ourselves, or every time we travel out and in from the Cochin International Airport. JP is sitting out there, so you'll be able to vouch for it. That the Cochin International Airport, people believed would not be a success, and there were no takers for that. Even investors were not there. And what started out as a 400 crore project finally ended up with a 700 crore project, ended up as a 250 crore project, because somehow the initial people, like including Mr. K. Karnakaran and all that, gave us a green signal, and they wanted to take this off somehow or the other, and that's how that particular the airport in Kerala, which has now created history in every sense of the term, has become a reality. But I'm sure that Mr. Moideen Kuti and his colleagues at Air Kerala are very brave people, because we have seen so many airlines come and go. And I think for people who fly out to different parts of India, you can see the Go Air aircraft, rusting out there. I think the lessors are not probably taking it back too. So. It also reminds me of the first time that I booked a ticket on Kingfisher, because at that point of time Vijay Mallya had given so much of hype to it, with all the everyone would get a free gift on board, and there would be beautiful air hostess serving us and all that. So it was I went with my wife anyway, so but then it was a kind of a different experience altogether. And I'm sure that, with the kind of passion that these people have for an airline coming out of Kerala, and we were talking for some time, and, they are also kind of skeptical about it, but at the same time, they are also having the belief that it is going to come out as a beautiful airline. And we can all be proud that, we're going to get the first airline based out of Kerala going out into the world, or they probably might be starting domestically. But then they're going out into I'm sure that it's going to become an international airline and is going to perhaps be a boon for all those people flying in and out from the country, especially the Gulf countries, because I think every flight from Kerala is more or less full to and fro, and I think that should be it should be the way it should be, and let us hope that we're going to have a very, very big successful story from Kerala in the airline sector too, especially that when people were so skeptical about Cochin International Airport and it has come out so well. I'm sure that with I think 4 international airports now within the state of Kerala, we're going to have lots and lots of exciting times ahead for flyers. And we need people, brave people, I would say, brave investors to come into Kerala and do this kind of work for our state. So in fact, I'm very happy that your students have come in. I think this should have been, having spoken to him, this should have been termed as an Inspire series rather than a Leader Insight series, because although he's a leader, we have, for your information, we have something called an Inspire series where I'm sure that you're going to inspire people too. So that's why I said for our students, we have KMA student members, and definitely it's going to be an inspiration for all of us. So we're eagerly waiting to listen to Mr. Harish Moin, and I wish him and all of us sitting here a happy hearing from him, which is going to be perhaps going to create history in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I welcome Mr. Harish Moidinkutti, esteemed chief guest, to address the gathering.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Aziz Khalid. You have been very generous with your compliments. Thank you. Okay. And I'm proud that I'm here in front of a group of decision makers, which is the most difficult thing, I think, to make the right decision. In my principle, if you get 8 out of 10 right, you're good to go. So thank you for having me here, and thank you, Mr. Aziz, for inviting me here. So I was asking what is the program and all those things. So he said there are some students attending. That excited us. So I was sharing that with my senior colleagues in the company. I said some students are coming and there will be a Q&A session. So a few of our senior leaders in the company, they volunteered that we'll also come. Let me quickly introduce Captain Randhawa, Captain Charanveer Randhawa. The captain was a fighter pilot. He flew MiG-23 for many years. Then he moved to Air India and flew the Boeing 777. Then he did a decently long stint with DGCA. So that's why our paperwork with DGCA will be quicker once he is there. And he is our Director of Operations now. We have Mr. James George. He's our Head of Quality. So ask him what is quality. Please don't ask me. And we have Mr. Kamlesh Malia. So that I'll say, like, he's Kamlesh Malia. One of our board director is Kanika Goyal, Miss Kanika Goyal. So we have the Goyal and the Malia, so God help us where we'll go. Okay. And we have Mr. Shamon, he is our Head of Ground Ops. Okay. Students, we brought them here, like, it can be a serious session, you can ask them questions. Okay, before we get into Air Kerala and all those things, one of the biggest challenge for us here is to get the right talent. Okay, we have interviewed umpteen number of people holding BBA, MBA, aviation, what all God only knows. You ask them, some of the bright kids, they'll give you a nice lecture about aviation on the surface. You ask a question to next level, I don't know what they teach in these institutions, because you can't hire such freshers, because it's better you hire anybody and train, or somebody with aviation degree to train. So I think probably our curriculum should change to fit what happens in the airline, or people should take, like now, ChatGPT and all helps you a lot in learning. Okay, keep that aside. Air Kerala, it's a dream. This is not the 2012 dream which Nuran was praising Sial. It was Sial floated a company with the Kerala state government in 2012, which was called Air Kerala. I think that company is still alive, but they are not going to do anything. We went and met with the chief minister, and he himself has told us that they are not going to go forward. So, for this dream started in 2023. In 2023, we were lucky enough to buy the domain airkerala.com. So once we bought that airkerala.com, we sat and said, now we have airkerala.com, .net, .in, whatever it is. All we have, now what do? Start an airline. So basically, I've been called here to talk about aviation in Kerala. Honestly, I'm not an expert in aviation in Kerala. I have done aviation, so that was the story. In 2023 also, we said, what do? So we started surveys and research, and we found out a few things. That encouraged us to go forward. There's a lot of money being put up front to start an airline. That encouraged us to move forward. Okay. Our key objective, like I've stated this earlier also in a couple of meetings, our key objective is to convert the bus and train passenger to aviation. Tell you some secret account. So for an ATR 72-600, which is what we intend to operate, for us to be profitable, we have 76 seats, but with 70 seats, for us to be profitable, if we charge just about 2,500 rupees from the 70 people who fly for 1 hour, that we can be kind of profitable. So it becomes, I live near in Kundamba Road near Vaitla. So every evening when you go through Vaitla, you see the number of buses, these Volvo buses that leave. There are probably, I don't know whether it's 100 or 10s or 20s, I don't know, plenty of people. Those are when I look at them and say, these are people I can convert, I can bring them to the airline. So that was, few things which we thought. The other thing we looked at, in our survey said we don't want to bore you with the statistics and all. But one thing is, year on year, all the 4 airports had very good growth in domestic. Where the leaders were Trivandrum, they had a 40%, more than 40% growth year on year on domestic travel. So that itself is that trend is picking up. In Kerala has the highest proportion of people who have sat in an airplane, flown in an airplane. And the funniest part is, majority is on international, because people, they go to Canada, they go to Dubai to look after their children, grandchildren, all the old people are big grannies, and I think these days they go to. So more people have flown international than domestic. That is more encouraging. Then what we found out is all the tourism which comes from nearby states, they're coming by surface. Can you imagine if somebody wants to come from Pondicherry to Munnar, how tedious that travel will be? I go by car, sometimes you have to go somewhere, there's no flight, there's no go by car. It's a killer, actually. 3 weeks back I went and hit the car also, big way. So that's good. So, and the tolls. The toll, it's if outside Kerala, if you drive from here to Bangalore, I think you'll give around 1,200 rupees or something toll. Okay. So from here to Bangalore, for us it will be only 1 hour, 20 minutes, right? Yeah. So we can be, during Onam, Vishu and all these buses, I have a friend who paid 13,600 rupees from Bangalore to Kochi. The day before Vishu, I think, last year. So Yeah, and the other interesting thing was we had a discussion, we had not a series of discussion with KSRTC. They do a program from Palakkad, Trichy and all. There are a lot of people who haven't seen the sea and never had taken a ship and all. So they bring people, there are daily cruise from Cochin, Ernakulam, I think near the Marine Drive or somewhere. They take them out for 3-4 hours and bring back. So KSRTC sell the whole package from Palakkad and Trichy. The bus takes 38 people, so they buy en masse 38 seats and they take the people and take them on a sea tour. And they have spoken to us and they said, we'll buy 38 seats from you on all flights. They have given a list of flights and all. It's the first time flights. And I believe they're much smarter than our. They have a WhatsApp group which is supported by a lot of these passengers who are faithful. They can reach like more than 10,000 people in one message, and people are eager to watch. And they promised us like they will give us regularly, every day, passengers, first-time flyers. That's our dream, to bring the first-time flyers. Students, we Keralites, we don't study in Kerala, we study everywhere else, right? So the students need the support. So that also we want to do. So to say the tourism and all is all big talk, to convert the surface transfer people because they will have a lot of bags, this, that and all. It's a hard work to convert them, the tourists who's coming by surface, but we are geared for that. We know the bus networks in South India. We have learned that. We have the passenger movement, all those things. So that's what we try to convert into. Now, Kerala and aviation, 4 international airports. I don't know why we have 4 international airports, but we have. The other day we had a major meeting with Kyal Kannur International Airport. They were, I think, they are struggling. Actually, their shareholders came and met us when we were in Trivandrum. They're all very unhappy that the airport is not. So we have promised to them that we will do our best to make that airport active. We have plans, big plans for Kannur. Definitely our base will be Cochin. And we've been to Mysore. We actually were with the MP is the king of Mysore. Now there are no kings, but he is the king of Mysore. He was very courteous. He gave us a nice dinner. Then the next day he came for our function in the airport. That airport is actually, they have one flight to Chennai and one flight to Hyderabad. That's from Mysore. That's Indigo. The potential is huge. So there are many places like that where we can see. Right now this Setu Bandhan, right? That bridge between India and Sri Lanka. That's a major tourist spot. You can't even think of drive from here to there. So Tuticorin is an airport. Does anyone know there's an airport in Tuticorin? So those are the kind of airports we are looking at. And yeah, fingers crossed, we should do well. Just to talk about our company, it's a privately owned company. There are 2 people who have invested, okay? And they have deep pockets. So we will go on. Our plan is to get our AOC by June, and we'll have our first commercial flight in June. The name Air Kerala has such a huge sentimental value that we are having a whole lot of investors. Everybody wants to come. Everybody wants to be a director in Air Kerala. So we have a lot of pressure from that. We are trying to wait away as much as possible. Some are very important people. You can't say no. So those kind of pressures are going on. So that's it basically. I don't want to talk much. I want to take questions because I don't know what is the interest of everybody. I would like to take questions, and my team members are also here. They can answer your questions. I'm sorry, I didn't talk much about Kerala and aviation. I know that. I talked more about Air Kerala. But I think that is a trending subject now. What is Air Kerala? What are they going to do? That is a trending subject. So that's why I focused on that. Sorry about that. Yeah, thank you. You wanna? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Vikas Agarwal. I'm the Ballu Agarwal. I'm not from here, but I'm born out of here. So it's very sentimental to Kerala. World over, we have seen consolidation. We have seen everywhere there's 2 or 3 major airlines. And India itself, NEPC was a distant relative of mine. They shut down in just 4 years. A lot of big operations, Jet Airways shut down. In so much, turmoil, you chose to fly or take off Air Kerala. What, other than deep pockets, what would have been the thought process? Whether your management is strong, whether your people like Mr. Randhawa is there with you, that's the strong idea. What prompted you to get into such a difficult industry as the world over people think?
Yeah, good question. Thank you. See, if you look at the airlines which shut shop, we are in the industry, we study, right? There has been, everywhere, there has been an element of corruption. Okay? We are hellbound, that will not end up anywhere near our business. Okay? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, 39 new airports are coming in India. Somebody has to fly there, right? Now the big boys are all focusing international. Now Air India is giving Indigo the run for the money. Okay, so Indigo, if you go and compete with Indigo when you're small, they'll crush you. I shouldn't be saying that, I don't know. They would crush you. So we will stay safe. There's so many places in South and Central India where we can stay safe and build that business. Once we start building the business, that is when you see all these players coming in. But by then we would have built our muscle. Okay. And we will have a clean governance in our country. I mean, not in our airline. Okay, and we have zero tolerance for corruption. Anything else you can make mistake, zero tolerance for corruption.
Hello sir, my name is Nivedit. I actually have 2 questions for you. My first question is, first off, it's one of the gutsiest things to do, I think, to start an airline. You must have a great gut. But what was the key insight that came to you to come up with, the idea that, okay, let's do this and start the airline? What was the key market insight that you possibly got for that? My second question is regarding, I recently saw that they're starting a new rail almost 200 kilometers at speed, meaning that you could reach Trivandrum to Kannur in 3.5 hours. In terms of domestic travel in Kerala, I think time is one of the most essential aspects of travel. And flight travel, you still have this concept of 1 hour before you have to reach the airport, 1 hour after you reach your next destination. So it still takes, somewhat a long time compared to potential, if rail becomes faster, then there's better scope there. You see that as a sort of a challenge for travel within Kerala. As you rightly said, I recently had to go to Tuticorin, and there was very little options for us to fly down, and we ultimately had to drive down there, which is a long drive. So there is obviously potential in there to city connectivity, but I'm curious about your view on Kerala as well specifically.
So the other day we were in Trivandrum and we had like 12 or 15 MLAs, start, man, how do we go? If you're in Kannur, you want to go to Trivandrum, finish your work and come back in the evening, can you do it? That's a gap we will fill. Well, when you talk about within Kerala. But we see more prospectors for us connecting Kerala to the nearby states. So that's how. So it's not, we're not just going to focus
intra-Kerala and try to make our money? Yeah, actually, if somebody is putting this kind of money, and that's hard-earned money, both the investors have started from humble beginning, and it's hard-earned money, so they're not going to burn it there like that. So studies were done, and we're pretty confident that we will do well. And your second question about competing with, see, we have 1.4 billion people, and Kerala has a huge middle class, right? There are so many people who can afford flying, but they don't fly. They haven't seen and they've got in the aircraft. So somehow we have to bring them once, twice. This is like you create a habit. Okay, why did you try to fly to Tuticorin? You created it as a habit. You want to fly somewhere, right? Then you couldn't get a choice, so you drove. So we want to drive that habit into as many people as possible and widen our customer base. That's what we intend to do. Thank you.
Students, you have to ask questions. Sorry, after you.
Good evening. I am Patrick Xavier, ex-Air India. I just want to ask you, Air Kerala is an ULCC, right? Ultra low cost carrier. Now, what is it that you are going to offer the customers by way of services, amenities, and the pricing, which is important? And the second question, pardon me, asking another question also, is what is the time frame for your airline to become break-even and then go into profitability? As airline is a very capital-intensive industry with wafer-thin margins, so this is very important. So, thank you.
Yeah. The first question, we only promise one thing to our customer. We will take you from point A to B safely at the best price ever. And we will be on time. That's what our commitment to the customer. Now, the extra, the bells and whistles, we provide all bells and whistles, you pay for it. If you want to go from A to B with the lowest price, we are there. Then you want your baggage to come first, you want a meal on board, you want a priority check-in, you want a priority baggage delivery, all those things we'll give you, but you've got to pay. So, the core customer who wants to go from A to B, he is fine. That is what a bus passenger gets, right? They won't get service, or they won't get Mr. Malia's air hostesses coming and pampering them and all. You know? So that's what we'll do. Oh, sorry, we have another one. Yes.
Sir, my question is, congratulations for starting Air Kerala.
Thanks.
But my major question is, you chalked out a strategy map of a vacuum in the air travel situation in India, and particularly in Kerala. South. And you brought an important point that it is cost 2,000 to travel from one point to other, to a passenger who was willing to pay 13,000 for a day before ticket. Now imagine I am the chief CTO of Indigo sitting here and listening to you. And I decide, okay, the airline has laid out a strategy map. I take it to my board and buy 10 ATRs for 20 ATRs with their ability and start operating on the routes that you have intended. What is your safeguard against that? And Indigo has displaced all other. I am above 70. In my lifetime, I have seen large number of companies coming and going. The best experience I had is with Paramount, East West, AirAsia, any number of them. Small players have been wiped out. Now it is a monopoly of Indigo. When you go to any airport in India, you see a series of Indigo planes and some Air India planes. Now I am the CTO, Chief Operating Officer, or whatever you call the head of Indigo. Indigo sitting here and listening to you. And with my resources, I bullet 10 to 20 ATRs tomorrow. What will be your response?
First of all, Indigo has 48 ATRs operating. Okay, it's not 10 or 20, 48 they are operating. And their strategy for ATR is simple. They run thin routes with ATR. They build that route and then they come in with the jets. Okay? Some of the airports we intend to go, touch wood, jets won't land. Okay? So let them come with the ATR and compete with us, we know how to teach them their lesson. The moment they bring the jets, the 320s and compete with us, we will be nowhere. Okay? So right now we are staying safe. The airports we said, the Mysore, the Pondicherry, the Tuticorin, the Dupli, Belgaum, Kalburgi, all these airports, it's not jet friendly. So, see, this is what we told the civil aviation minister, and said, don't create a situation for duopoly. Okay? Air India will give them a run for the money, that is for sure, because they're pumping such huge funds, and once the aircraft deliveries start coming in, they'll give a run for the money for Indigo. And their focus is there now, how to defend that. They're not going to come and, if I'm starting a flight from here to Tuticorin, they're not going to come and compete with us, because they have much better routes to do. So, you can't be scared and say, oh, there's a giant over there, I'll not take this path, I'll swim across the river. You can't say that. We are convinced we can do it.
Good evening, sir. I'm a student from SCMS College, and I'm very glad to attend this session. So my question to you is, the Indian aviation industry is heavily dominated by top market leaders such as Indigo, Air India, and now Akasa Air also trying to enter into the race. So how will Air Kerala differentiate itself from others, and what unique value propositions will it give to its customers?
See, what we have already announced that we will be an ultra low cost airline. Okay, like I said to the gentleman there, our objective is to give the best fare from point A to B and safe and on-time performance. That's the only thing which we promise. Now, you look at 2000, when was Indigo? Captain 2006, right? In 2006, Indigo also had 2 aeroplanes. Okay, and the country is growing, the middle class is growing, air travelers are growing, there is room for everybody. So it's not that like you look at somebody, see, Indigo was always well managed. Indigo was always well managed, and there is clean governance in that company. So that is why Indigo has grown, and that's the model we will follow. Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question to ask. Congratulations for daring into a very challenging industry, but it's always told that my question is 2 questions. One, how much is the investment to start an airline company? Because you have done all the homework. So the 10 aspirants are sitting there, and you have always defined that Indigo started with 2 and now has grown much bigger. That's always a possibility. Then, what is the possibility of starting an airport? Because what we have seen that airlines always make losses, whereas Seattle Airport, with about 1,000 crore turnover, they are making 400 crore profit. And any user which pass through, when that, for an international user, he pays 730 rupees, and a domestic user pays 320. And in December, we have 1 million people going through Cochin International Airport, bringing a revenue of 60 crore just for the people traveling. So, which is the better business? We started with 250 crore investment, bringing a 60 crore without any addition, or an aviation industry where what is the funding? I don't know, but that's one question to you. What is the difference, and what is the possibility of coming with private airports in India on the long run?
I think some private airports are coming up, right?
Private airports are there. Some of the airports which are being built. Some of the airports which are being encouraged by the government because the Prime Minister has announced the UDAN scheme, which has been running since last 6-7 years successfully. And the basic idea is to connect the tier 2, tier 3 cities. And the logo is that Aam Aadmi should be able to fly. That is his vision. With that vision, he has progressed and he has forced the Civil Aviation Ministry to encourage travel. So all these airfields, which were Second World War airfields, which were abandoned and not used, are now slowly the government is getting them back, and they're connecting these states. And Kerala is very fortunate to have 4 airports and all international. I don't think so any state has got. So the vision is to also encourage private aerodromes, but since the investment is too much, so I think Seattle is the only one which is there, and there are very few players who are coming forward. Basically, they have taken over the airports from Airport Authority, like GMR, GVK, Adani. So what they're taking a ready-made pudding to eat. But they don't want to take a risk to make an airport and then bleed. So getting into the airports, what you said, and private airport, you're lucky that it was Cochin. And you have all the Gulf travelers exiting and entering Cochin. In other places, it may not be so. Supposing I take the example of, he said Belgaum. No, let me take Belgaum, Kalburgi. How many will connect? They will bleed to death. So it is okay to have a private airport, Delhi, Bangalore, you see they are all private. They are not private. The stakeholder is Airport Authority, the richest aerodrome operator in the country. And amount of land they own is not even fine. So they are the only people who are able to sustain this, and they have allowed the private players to come. Why doesn't Adani, GVK, GMR go to small places, Patna, go to say Visakhapatnam? Why not? They do not see that potential that they can make money and recover. If they invest 1,000 crores or minimum, like if you develop an airport in a good way today, it is about 1,000 crores. And what is the return? If you take even the interest value, it will be so high that they will not be able to sustain. So private airports is a dream in the country because we cannot compete with United States. United States, you can have your small aircraft can fly from your airfield. They do it. In this country, I have my doubt, may take about a couple of decades before it comes. Thank you.
And my first question remains open. How much is an investment for an airline industry?
It depends, you know. See, our business plan says that by the end of third year, we'll break even. Break even in the sense our operation, the money we collect will, not that we will clear off our historic loss. Again, until by that time, we would have burned around 250 CR.
Hello.
Sir, out of curiosity, you said you're starting on the 1st of March, all right?
June.
First
week of June is what we are targeting.
Now, which are the sectors that you intend to fly? Second is, who will service your aircrafts in those places? Third is, you said you're going to go to XYZ place if there's a demand. Okay. without any sort of, I mean, when do you start your publicity saying you're coming in as Air Kerala? You know, how do people know about it? These are simple questions that I have.
First of
And
all,
how many aircrafts are you going to start with? And what type of aircraft?
First of all, I will not reveal where we will go because somebody said if Indigo will come and right. So I will not reveal where we will go. I don't know whether you have seen us. Probably you would have seen us a lot in the newspapers, right?
Sorry?
You would have seen us a lot in newspaper, LinkedIn, and social media, right? So we're good in marketing. We know how to push out.
No, I haven't seen many. I haven't seen.
Okay, so you will soon start seeing. Okay, I think we're quite okay with our marketing team. You know, we'll be communicating in local languages. There's Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, Telugu. We'll be communicating in local things. Our focus will be on online and social media marketing. Okay, we won't put up fake hoardings anywhere. So that's how we'll communicate to our customer. We are coming up with ATR 72-600 aircraft with 76 seats. The same aircraft Indigo uses with 78 seats. So we think our aircraft will be slightly more comfortable because we get better legroom and things like that. See, marketing, every second bright kid does a marketeer, right? We have a few in our company who does very good job. So we are quite okay with marketing activity. Thank you.
No, but servicing, who will service your aircrafts?
All third-party servicing. See, ground ops, you have everywhere third parties available for ground ops. For maintenance, everywhere you have third party available. Actually, there's a competition. Many airports, you have more than one. So you can play one against them and get the best price. So those are the ones who will service. The planes will be flown by our own captains.
So last question was number of aircrafts to start with.
Right now we have signed up 5, which will come. See, we can bring all the 5 tomorrow if we want. The biggest problem we have is the pilots. It's a scarce commodity, okay, and the way they come and bargain the salary and the perks that they need, it's unbelievable. So we need to, and the pilot, you hire, training, all those things will take time. So as and when we have, when captain says, okay, we are ready to bring in the next aircraft, we have 5 ready, signed up, paid for. Okay. The other things we are negotiating, like what I was saying earlier, none of the big lessors, they didn't want to talk to us because, you know, in India all airlines closed down. Now that we have signed up and we have announced our base, we have announced our start date and all, a lot of people coming in. Yesterday we signed the NDA with the biggest turboprop lessor in the world, Falco. We had Nordic coming in yesterday. It's headed by a Kerala gentleman. He has a Singaporean passport, Mr. Kumar Menon. So he was giving, they were all refusing to talk to us earlier. So now they have started coming to us. So we are on the right wicket. So idea is to have 20 aircraft by the end of year 2, if Captain Randhawa brings the pilots. Then we will apply for the international and we will start flying international. That's the plan.
Sir, one doctor. My name is Ramachandran. Several times I have gone to USA. As a citizen of our country, I used to go in Air India only. By going from Air India to USA, it's a very nice journey. But when we return from New York or New York or Washington, we will be having a stop at Delhi. The flight will reach in the early morning at 8 o'clock. The next flight will be at 5 o'clock. You will have to take the baggage, and with that you have to come to the bottom. Then we have all the other formalities and wait up to 5 o'clock, including getting of boarding pass. By the time 4 o'clock comes, we will be boarding the train along with the baggage. In all the other airlines, we can get or collect the baggage from Cochin. Only in airlines, Air India, we have to get the baggage from Delhi and take it to another flight, even though we are booking in the same flight. That is a very big problem. For the last 10 years, I have been traveling in it. My 2 daughters were there, and they were also traveling in it. Their husbands were also traveling in it. Now they have all changed it. I am also going to change, because this is creating a great problem for us. We have to spend more money to get the luggage, to get other things done with the help of other people. This is the problem here. The second problem is that whenever we get a seat, it is very difficult to go to the toilet, because the space available for us in between the 2 seats is very less. Even my granddaughter is also Delhi like that. Grandson is also Delhi like that. It is very short space available for travelers to go to the toilet. These 2 things are my concern. I don't know whether this is a forum for it or not. Thank you.
I don't think it's a forum for the lighter side. No, I wouldn't say. Okay, see, basically any country, you have to do your immigration and customs as the first international point. That is the rule. Okay, so if you come from USA to India, the first airport you land, you have to do your customs and immigration. Okay, if you were connecting through Delhi to Bangkok, let's say you're coming from New York, Delhi, and then from Delhi you're connecting to Bangkok, you don't have to do all those things. Your bag will go to Bangkok, you don't have to go to immigration, you will just go to the transfer desk, that's it. So domestic is there. It's not only in India, it's not Air India or anything, it's the country's rule. Okay, so number 1. Number 2, that's why I said that we are ultra low cost, but there are so many seats available in the plane with more leg space, reclining. We have the business class, you have the first class, you pay for it, you get it. So if you go for that, so the ultra low cost model we offer is you pay less, you let us suffer a bit in terms of leg space or something. So, but every airline gives you better service if you pay more. That's it, sir. Thank you.
I had almost 3 questions, all were taken over by my fellow. So I want to ask how many aircraft you want to start with, and I just was curious to ask you, because when we hear Air Kerala, see large population of NRIs, especially in the Middle East, they will be looking for when is it coming to take us back to Kerala. Like. But then you said the moment you touch 20 aircraft, you have plans. So I just want to ask if you have already have plans for Gulf, that's all.
Yes, we definitely have plans for Gulf. We have plans for Far East. Yeah, we do.
Hi, my name is Majru James. My question is regarding selling tickets from, say, Whiteler to Majestic Bangalore, because you said you're targeting the bus commuters. So I'm a frequent traveler to Mangalore and Goa, but when I look at it, okay, 1,500 to the airport, and then another 3,000-4,000 flight ticket to airport, and then another 1,500 to the hotel there. I'd rather sit on a train, which takes me in the evening, and overnight I'm there. So would you be like looking at doing a shuttle from Whiteler, so everybody can come to Whiteler, hop on it, and reach the airport at one go, instead of everybody taking a taxi to the airport? Same with Bangalore, like people land at Bangalore, you have a shuttle there taking everybody to Majestic. Some people might get off on the way, might hop on the way, or just a suggestion, a question, have you ever considered that?
So, probably you haven't explored other opportunities. If you take a metro from Whiteler to Alway, every 10 minutes there is a bus which takes you from the Alway metro station to the airport.
I agree to all that, but traveling with luggage and stuff it's difficult. Climbing up, climbing down, getting on the bus, and then instead.
Yeah. So you give importance to your convenience.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean,
so maybe you are not our passenger. Because if we fly to Bangalore, whether from Cochin or from Calgary to Trivandrum, we will only do red-eye flights. Okay? Because, like the gentleman said, if I do a proper 8 o'clock departure in the morning, I have to compete with the giant. I will not. I'll do red-eye flight. And red-eye flight will be even cheaper than the regular flight.
So it brings us back. When you say red eye, it's going to be like in the middle of the night. Metro doesn't run after 11, right? And it starts only at like, what, 6 in the morning? So you just negated your...
So you want us to run a shuttle service for the red-eye flight? Not a bad idea.
What's different between Air Kerala and the rest of the...
economy, the price.
Absolutely. So you are targeting the middle class like me, for whom 1,500 rupees.
I have an observation or statement to make. I was listening to Peter Edgar, the CEO of Indigo at the last All India Management Association convention in New Delhi at Taj Palace. He was asked the same questions. How are you going to? He announced that he's going to come out with 1,000 aircrafts. So people asked him, where are the passengers? So he asked the gentleman who asked the question, where are you from? He said, I'm from Chennai. And he said, what are you doing? He said, I'm a businessman. What is your cost per hour? He said some amount. He said, how much you pay for a train travel from Chennai? How many trains are traveling between Chennai and Delhi? How many air-conditioned coaches are there? Do you know? And then he gave the figures of that. Then it was a mind-blowing thing that, he said, if you look at it, most of the trains now have more number of AC coaches than the second-class tickets. When we were kids, 1 or 2 bogies of air-conditioned cars. There was no air conditioning. Then it was 1 or 2 bogies. Now more number of bogies. Vande Bharat is all air conditioned, and you still scramble to go for that. Correct? Now if you look at 2,500 is a ticket from Cochin to Mangalore, Vande Bharat. There was, if you put 2,500, I would go to my wife's house and come back the next day morning. This is mind-blowing experience. So this is not a model. This is not a new model in India. Southwest is like that. In US, you get it for checking luggage. You have to pay money in USA.
But the difference.
But they are one of the largest aircrafts. But as he said, those people who wants convenience, you take Emirates and fly. That's what their logic is. You pay for your convenience. You pay for your luxury. There is Emirates. You will pick you from your house with a limousine and drop you there at the airport.
Business class.
In business class. That's the convenience you pay for. So the model is not, we are not looking at Taj Chai, we are looking at Tattera Chai. So your marketing funda is clear. What he's looking at is ultra low cost carrier. I think I have explained it much better than me. Thank you.
I can apply for a marketing job. Students, I want you all to ask questions. See, I forgot to mention things. See, when it comes to aviation, can I ask some questions to your students? When you look at aviation and when you think about a career in aviation, what do you think about?
Maybe, sir, I'm an MBA student, so maybe I'll go for ground operations or maybe finance sector, or not necessarily as an air hostess or a pilot or anything.
That's good. Thank God I heard that, because the first thing which clicks is like, I want to be a pilot, or some girls get attracted, I want to be the air hostess. I think it's the glamour and the uniform and all. That is not the only jobs there. Now, you mentioned finance.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are an MBA student.
Yes, sir.
What is the speciality of aviation finance or airline finance? Can you tell me?
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Dry leasing.
Oh?
Dry leasing.
Dry?
Leasing.
Dry leasing. No, that is about, the finance. So, like, basic thing. It's a common, probably you have in cruise and maybe a bit in hotels, you have parallel accounting in aviation. That is, You have a set of people who have paid you the money to travel after 3 months or 6 months or something. That money is sitting with you, but that's not your money. So you have to account for that money, which is not your money. Okay? The money becomes our money when actually the event happens and when the passenger travels. So you need to keep on that money only you calculate your profitability, etc. The other money is your forward cash. We use that money and do things. That's different thing. So you have parallel accounting. Did any MBA school teach you about the forward cash and the float revenue? Those are the things when you ask the basic questions, the MBA students themselves, they don't know. So, and again, sorry, you mentioned about the pilot. Like this is like a doctor now. You have to pay a lot of money to get a seat for MBBS and you pay lakhs of rupees. Now you get an MBBS, is that valuable? No, you have to go for post-graduation. You have to pay further. Similarly, a lot of kids from affluent families and kids taking loan, they go and take CPL. Now, is CPL any good, Captain? No. After taking a CPL is your commercial pilot license. After getting a commercial pilot license, you have to get type rating. You can put money from your pocket and go and get type rating. Will anyone give you a job? No. So you have to attach to an airline. So the airline takes you through all this interview process. Maybe 5 out of 10 clears. Maybe 5 or 6 out of 10 clears. Then you have to pay the airline. Airline takes a margin on that. Then you go for the type rating. So it's like flying and all has become very expensive to be the pilot and all these days. So just saying, so for everything there is a thing. So there are but much other better jobs in aviation, which we are struggling to find local talent. I wish the schools teach them. Thank you.
Sir, actually I did have a question. You did mention that there was a huge gap between what was taught in college and say industry, or what was to be industry ready. There's a huge parity between the two. But then again, now you ask me what is aviation finance, and I have no idea because in college we have 2 years to study. I'm a first year student. How much will it teach us? Like we are not necessarily being taught to be in the aviation industry, right? There are so many different industries, and we like get finance basics, and then you can develop on it later. So, all right. So let's say the student develops an interest for the aviation industry in the second year. How are we to what would you say we do so that we will be industry ready by the end of 2 years?
We are hiring trainees.
I'll be sure to apply, sir.
See, in our country, there is a lot of aviation knowledge gaps which are there, and the universities are not focusing. I am also the president of the Federation of Indian Pilots. We have almost 7,000 pilots from different airlines as our members. The biggest challenge the pilot faces is that they come into flying after schooling. So they lack the knowledge and any acquiring of any degree from a college. So we were the pioneers, we started BSc Aviation for pilots. So then they could graduate. I've been interacting with, we are affiliated to Mumbai University for BSc Aviation. And I've been talking to the Vice Chancellor and forcing him to start MSc Aviation or MBA Aviation. Because there is a large requirement of young blood to come into aviation, but unfortunately, every airline which starts, we want people who are experienced. Otherwise, in an airline, in any other job, you can switch functions from an HR or a finance from one company to another company. No good for airline. Because airline cannot do experimenting. Because the constraint, as you see, aviation is 3-dimensional.
It's not two-dimensional. In other corporates, you will find this is it. So we are focusing, we are telling the government to come out with aviation courses. I want to start diploma courses in Mumbai for the students who wish to enter into ground services. There are so many departments, not even just in-flight, that is air hostesses. You have people in the ground support, you have the customer services, you have HR, you have IT. So there are a lot of fields where the young blood we want to take in, but we need to train them, give them knowledge about aviation. So the focus is not there in the country at present on the aviation. If you go to schools, colleges, zero. So we have been trying to focus this through the central government also, the education ministry, to start these curriculums in the state levels. Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to mention Captain Randhawa is the Indian Pilots Association president as well.
I think you have opened up an answer, or because all these schools who are our members always ask for internships with with different companies. So this is one request, an open request right now to you as the CEO of Air Kerala, that you can take in as many management students as you want from our B schools, because there is always a request for that. Yeah.
Thank you to know that. We want brilliant brains. Please. See, we don't use the airkerala.com domain yet. We are using the domain of parent company Zfly Aviation, zfly.com. So just mail hr@zfly.com and mention, you use this as a reference. I will talk to them on Monday and say this is going to come, and it will be taken care of.
Sir, I am Lieutenant Jojo. As an air traffic controller with the Indian Navy, I have a question. You told that your focus area is Tier 2, Tier 3 cities. Do you anytime intend to have heli operations between two small cities?
The way the central government is supporting the heli operation in this budget in Udan 5.5, well, right now no plans, but I think it will be more than heli operation. I think the seaplane operation you can see as a reality earlier than the helicopter operation. The problem is, like the other day there was the airplane flew from the Marine Drive to where? Mark. You need to, for it to be commercially viable, you need to sell those tickets for 8,000 rupees, 9,000 rupees. Because it's only, how many, 6 liter or something. You need to pay for the fuel, the pilot, the aircraft, everything. So, will you get a constant flow of passengers who will pay 8,000, 9,000 rupees from here to go there? I don't know.
One day.
So, if the government supports, like the Udan, and puts some money into it, then the game changes.
At present, the government is not supporting the sea routes.
In 5.5, they mentioned.
So 5.5 is mentioned, but all these operations in the sea, 2-3 players came from Bombay. They opened the shutters because they couldn't sustain. Because there are big problems, single pilot operation, and all those conditions are there, and they couldn't survive.
Hari sir, I've got a question. Sorry for my background. After listening to all the QA sessions with many of us, I'm a little surprised who are your target customers? Because on one side you are competing against Kallada or KPL or any travels as such. Then other side you're flying to Tuticorin or Salem or Belgaum. So how could you possibly, can you explain?
See, our customer, I said our intention is to convert the bus and train passengers, create a habit on them to fly, and that is our most important target. Then the students, okay, first time flyers, and mind you, the affluent and all those things, like if somebody has to go somewhere and if you don't have Indigos and Air Indias, they'll definitely fly you because time, if it suits their time and things like that. So the target market is everybody, okay? But the focus will be to convert people to have a habit of flying. That is what the target will be. For that, the biggest attraction will be the price and probably the timing also. That's what we focus on.
If I may ask again on the timing, because sometime before we were talking about the red-eye flight. Most of us, including me, we travel very often to Bangalore or Chennai or Mumbai. We wish to come back on the same day, back home, or in Kochi, or to London for that matter. But today that's little inconvenient. And when you have these red-eye flights, is it really going to make things comfortable for frequent travelers like us?
The problem with red-eye flight for business travel and all is if you have a day's work, you end up paying 2 days hotel, right?
Exactly. That's my question coming in. We spent 7,000 or 8,000 at hotel just for a couple of hours.
Yeah. So we are in talks with a couple of hotel groups whereby we will have to go for hard blocks, 24-hour check-in, 22-hour check-in, check-out. So you reach there at 3 in the morning to the hotel, you can check out by 11 in the night, 3 or the 6. So we are talking to some hotels, everybody is like, they're all, the issue is the housekeeping staff and all those things, you know, like you have to clean the room between the 11 o'clock and 3 in the morning. So that is overtime for the housekeeping staff and things like that. But we are talking, especially in Bangalore and Chennai, let's see how things will progress.
All the best.
Thank you.
I think that will be the last question. Yeah, you can ask.
Sir, in Air Kerala, it was said that we need to pay to get access for all the amenities. It's like Apple selling their phone and they charge to get access for everything. And it was said by you, sir, that the highest proportion of people traveling are elderly people. And in such cases, what?
I say that? No, he said that so. I didn't say elderly. I said first time travel.
I said parents.
That is only international travel.
That is international travel.
Yeah, okay. In that case, what set of people are you mainly targeting?
I said that. No, we will look at converting the current bus and train passengers. That will be our biggest target. Anyone who has value for money is our target. I believe students and all fall in that category. They want to fly with the lowest amount. Those are the kind of customers who will be our target audience. Okay, thank you.
That was an informative and interactive session. Now I invite Mr. Tom P. Joseph, MC member, KMA, for the vote of thanks.
President Mr. Punnuran, Program Committee and Vice President Mr. Khalid, and the Speaker of the Day Harish Moidin sir, Captain Randhawa, and invited guests, business school students, and KMA members, MC members. Last 1 hour, more than giving an insight session, it felt like an finishing school for starting airline industry in India. So almost all nitty-gritties and all the challenges were asked. And yes, I was also doubtful a couple of months ago when Algiers said, we are going to get this gentleman as a speaker. Air Kerala, okay, fine. Now, he started with the same word, it's a dream. All dreams will come true as long as you believe it can come true. It will happen. So definitely it will happen. And business school students, this is a great session for you in the sense you know where the opportunities and vacuum are available for you, not only in airline industry, in any industry. See, what we are taught, okay, but then you have to do extra alternate studies so that you are get ready for the industries with a lot of vacuum and they are struggling to get good recruits. And I don't think there's a better way to discuss about airline travelers and everything other than when almost all the newspaper cover at least one flight from US to different parts, with chains, without chains, and all those things happening now. And yesterday, a double-decker, 2 days ago, a double-decker bus was inaugurated in Munnar, and next day there's been a hartal and strike by the taxi and auto guys over there, and the minister has to be involved in a lot of penalty. Likewise, sir, once you start here also, there will be taxi, and we will give you sufficient marketing, giving some hartals or working against you, and all the channels will be giving news about protest against you, so that will be sufficient marketing for you, so you can boldly come forward. So I still remember 10 years ago or so that the taxi drivers opposed Uber. Yeah, and there was a lot of news in the newspaper and the TV channels, and straight away Uber cut short and said that is the marketing fund for Kerala, that's it, over, finished. So we got sufficient marketing this year. This has happened many years ago once. So, and for business students, for information, Air India Digital starting their operation or their main quarters in Kochi. How many of you are aware of that? It's in Cascade Tech Park. In the second phase of Info Park, they started Air India Digital, and 2 more towers are coming soon. So there's a lot of opportunity for you all there. Get ready for that. Sir, it was really a session revealing many things to us. So I was thinking it was, initially starting with connecting with the domestic, with the Airbus or jets, and then the first idea is there. But then you have given us ideas like going to Hubli, Belgaum, Kaliburgi, then Tuticorin and all. It's amazing, and it can be useful for all of us here in Kerala, and we eagerly look forward to your starting, maybe the first week of June, if not earlier. Captain, you have to work hard to get those pilots at the earliest. And we all really enjoyed this evening with a lot of information, and at least we got to know the area in airline industry where we are not good at it. Thank you, Harith sir, Captain Charanveer Randhawa sir, and President Madam. And as a token of appreciation and thanks, I request the President Vibhu Punaran to hand over a memento with the speaker. I thank past presidents, managing committee members, invited guests, the team from Air Kerala, the business students for being present and listening to this session. And few announcements. The Management Week celebrations of KMA starts next week. So we have 4 programs coming up next week. That is 17th, Monday. We have K.T. Chandy Memorial Lecture. That's at 6 p.m. And the speaker is Dr. Saji Gobinath, Professor, IIM Kozhikode. He is a former VC, Kerala University for Digital Sciences. And the remembrance speech will be delivered by Mr. Venugopal Govind. Please do attend that. And that's on Monday. And Wednesday, 19th February, we have again Leader Insight session, Mr. Gurkaran Singh Bains. He is a Customs Commissioner, Kochi, current Commissioner. And on 20th February, we have a talk on yoga training. That's at 7 a.m. in the morning. A session and talk by Laiji Abraham. Ligiogram, it has to be registered. For the attendance, it has to be registered, and there will be basic health checkup from 7 to 11 in the morning. 11 or 11:30? 11. 7 to 11 in the morning. Please do register and attend that program. That's on 20th morning. And that week, the management celebration week will end with the Women Managers Forum. The speaker is Miss Elizabeth Isaac, founder of Gunam Beauty. So these are the programs coming up next week. We have so many programs, 4 programs coming in the next week. This is as part of Management Week celebration. Thank you all once again for attending this meeting. Thank you.
Now I request everyone to rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Actually, second year of specialization. But what is your interest in marketing? Marketing. Marketing lessons. Mail ID equal. Mail ID. Mail ID का रेज्यूम पड़ेगा. अनंत ये सब्जेक्ट इंटे में सब्जेक्ट അങ്ങനെ എഴുതിയാ. ആ സാറിന്റെ പേരൊക്കെ എഴുതി.